Good Thursday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to Keep Her Quick, your latest local news and weather, commercial-free in about 15 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to weather first because temperatures aren't too shabby as we finish off the week, and we had the windiest day of the work week yesterday. Are we going to see a resurgence of any wind as we head into the 4th of July?
No, luckily we are going to be looking at much lighter wind today. Now, yesterday there was plenty of fire concerns around the forecast area, wind-driven fires. Here's a look at your peak wind gusts from Wednesday. We did see gusts over 30 miles per hour for the Tri-Cities and Yakima, gusts to near 40 miles per hour for Walla Walla, gusts in the 40 mile per hour range for Pendleton. And in Ellensburg yesterday, we saw gusts over 50 miles per hour. Again, a very windy Wednesday. Now, today winds are going to be coming down across the region. We will see sunshine and an overall pleasant Thursday. Friday, 4th of July, could offer a few isolated showers, especially in the morning and early afternoon with cooler temperatures too, before we get back to the sunshine and warmer highs this weekend. We'll talk more about these three weather headlines coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Yakima. We have an update on the driver of the car that overturned on Monday. He passed away at the hospital. Yakima police say on Monday, a Dodge Durango was traveling eastbound on Western Washington Avenue. They say the driver lost control of his vehicle after having some sort of medical episode. His vehicle veered off the road and rolled before resting on its side. Officers arriving to the scene found the driver unresponsive, and so far it hasn't been determined what caused the man's death, but police believe it was more than likely the medical episode and not the crash. And a judge imposed the highest possible sentence for a drunk driver on the west side who killed Washington State Trooper Christopher Gadd, who was originally from Pasco. Gadd was a husband and young father when he was killed on the side of the road in Snohomish County in March of last year. After a contentious trial, Raul Benitez Santana was convicted of vehicular homicide. Gadd's family had their chance to speak to him in court yesterday. KOMO's Jeremy Harris picks up the story from there.
It began as a night of drinking in a Mount Vernon bar that ended when Raul Benitez Santana crashed into Trooper Chris Gadd's patrol car on I-5 at nearly double the speed limit.
There's no evidence he would needed to get anywhere at 3 in the morning. So this just suggests that he was just casually endangering the public, and that really bothers me.
Today, prosecutors said his actions were so reckless, Benitez Santana deserved the maximum sentence of 10.5 years for vehicular homicide.
My name is Cameron Gadd.
Gadd's widow, Cameron, too overcome with grief to speak. His mother, Jillian, saying the whole situation was avoidable and criticizing the defense team.
His behavior is not excusable. Victim shaming is the absolute lowest form of defense.
You were traveling at over 100 miles an hour for a length of time. You endangered everyone on the roadway.
Judge Karen Moore imposed the highest sentence allowed.
The public needs to know that driving like that is unacceptable, period. Young people who drive and speed need to know that it is no different from having a loaded gun.
Chris had us saying, "One more stop." That's how committed he was.
Chief John Batiste saying the entire state patrol stands with the Gadd family to honor his legacy.
No matter what the outcome was today, it won't bring Chris back. It won't take away the pain. And I'm hoping that others learn from this mistake and not commit an act similar to this.
Now, Raul Benitez Santana was in the country illegally at the time of the crash. ICE placed a detainer on him, and he could be taken into ICE custody once he's released from prison. Gadd's father is a trooper here in Washington, and his sister is a state trooper in Texas. Gadd was 27. And the search is still on for Travis Decker, the man accused of killing his 3 young daughters from Wenatchee. It's been more than a month since he was last seen. DNA profile investigators now say bloody handprints found on the truck at a campground where the victims were recovered belonged to Decker. Meanwhile, search teams are focusing on remote areas in Kittitas and Chelan counties following dozens of potential sightings and other tips. Authorities say they don't have evidence Decker is still alive or still in the area. They say if you see Decker, do not approach him. Contact 911 immediately. And family members of a missing 16-year-old girl are hoping one of you may have seen her and can help get her home. Take a look at this picture of Imani Laurez. She was last seen in Wapito at around 7 last night near the Wolf Den. Security camera images show her speaking to an unknown woman in a white Dodge SUV. And at one point, she got in the car, then walked to the store, went through the breezeway and out the other side. If you know where Imani is or have any information, contact the Wapito Police Department or the Yakima County Sheriff's Office. And it's no secret, we're in fire season, and in Umatilla County, the biggest fire so far this year. Some evacuation levels for that wildfire have been downgraded, while the blaze has claimed one house so far. This is a picture posted by Umatilla County Fire District 1 of what's being called the Cold Springs Fire. It's burning in the Hat Rock area and is estimated to have burned about 1,000 acres. Air support was requested, and all private aircraft and drones are being told to stay out of the airspace to allow those resources to do their jobs. Also, drivers are being asked to avoid Highway 730 and Highway 37. The area of those two highways. Level 2 B-set evacuations are in place south of Highway 730 to Cold Springs Reservoir between Tabor Road and Highway 37. Level 1 evacuations are in place from Salmon Point all the way west to Hat Rock and north of Highway 37 to Juniper Canyon. A shelter is available through the Red Cross at the Eastern Oregon Trade and Event Center on Airport Road in Hermiston. All of the current evacuation information is available at KEPRTV.com. And wildfire season, as we just mentioned, is well underway, and with those hot, dry, windy conditions, things are primed for fires to get started and spread quickly. There was a fire reported in Yakima at about 2:15 yesterday afternoon by the wastewater treatment facility south of Nob Hill Boulevard. City firefighters, along with crews from the Department of Natural Resources, responded. So did helicopters to fight the fire from the air. At last report, the fire had burned around 14 acres and was 50% contained. No structures have been threatened. So far, there's no word on how that fire got started. The 4th of July is just one day away, hours away, really, and already people are celebrating, lighting off those pyrotechnics. As a result, though, fires are igniting. KEPR's Aidan Whitaker spoke to firefighters as they urge everyone to use caution.
One after another, Kennewick firefighters stayed busy Tuesday night as they responded to several vegetation fires threatening homes. They stayed so busy they even had to get help from several other Tri-Cities fire departments.
We recognize that the 4th of July is a very important holiday for folks to celebrate, and there are lots of ways to celebrate it. In the city of Kennewick, there are some rules regarding the fireworks that you can purchase and utilize here in the city.
The cause of those fires is still under investigation, but firefighters say it's entirely possible that fireworks may have played a role. Several people had to be evacuated from their homes, but luckily all the fires were brought under control without seriously damaging anyone's property. The city of Kennewick isn't alone in placing restrictions on what fireworks are legal as leaders across the area try to prevent tragedy.
Recognizing both legal and illegal fireworks do present a risk of fire, again, especially because of these really dry, hot conditions. Even though the 4th of July, thankfully, temperatures will drop a little bit, the fuels have definitely dried out and are ripe for a potential fire situation.
Fire leaders say additional fire resources are being brought in to respond to calls on one of their busiest days of the year. Leaders noted that they still have to respond to other calls for service, including medical calls. Reporting in Kennewick, Aidan Whitaker, Action News.
KEPR's Aidan Whitaker, thank you. And Jefferson, as you know, we mentioned in there, it's getting hot. Things are heating up, if you will. We got to keep an eye on those fire dangers. Today, another one of those warmer days, but we're on a cooling trend, right?
Yeah, not as hot as day prior, but it is still going to be very warm across the region. Certainly dry today, as everybody will be bathing in the sunshine. As we look at temperatures across the forecast area on this Thursday, we will see high temperatures widely climb into the upper 80s to low 90s for the Tri-Cities. We will primarily see upper 80s through the Yakima Valley today, low to mid 80s, a smidge cooler through the Kittitas Valley with daytime highs in those upper 80s for the Blue Mountain foothills, again, as everybody does see sunshine overhead. Now let's talk about the wind. Wind was a big story yesterday. Today, wind is going to be much lighter around a majority of the forecast area, but in the Kittitas Valley, we still could hold on to gusts as high as 35 miles per hour today. Tomorrow will be a similar story. Wind is not going to be a big factor for a vast majority of us, but around Pendleton, we could see winds tomorrow gusting to 25 miles per hour with 35 mile per hour gusts possible through the Kittitas Valley. Please just practice that fire safety. Even though the winds aren't going to be terribly strong, we still don't need any fires to start because of non-responsible firework behavior. Now let's just talk about the Storm Tracker Futurecast. As we go through today, I've already mentioned it, sunshine for everyone. Tomorrow there is going to be a possibility of maybe some showers, especially during the morning and early afternoon hours for the Columbia Basin and out to the Blue Mountain foothills. I would not alter any 4th of July plans because of the possibility of isolated showers. It is certainly not going to be a washout scenario, but again, don't be too surprised tomorrow morning and early afternoon if a few raindrops do pass overhead. By the time we get to firework time tomorrow evening, dry weather is going to persist around the inland northwest. Now let's just talk about your 4th of July forecast. I already mentioned that slight chance of isolated showers tomorrow morning and early afternoon. High temperatures for 4th of July will be climbing into the low to mid 80s, and by the time we get to firework time tomorrow evening, we will be talking about comfortable temperatures into the 70s with a mixture of clouds and clearing. Have a fun, safe, and sane Thursday and 4th of July holiday. Right now, I'm going to toss it back to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. As we've been talking about all week long, those prime fire conditions not going anywhere anytime soon. Roughly 60% of the state now in high fire danger. And our local officials are not the only ones preaching caution. We caught up with Washington Public Lands Commissioner Dave Upthegrove yesterday, who was in Ellensburg. He briefed us on the state's wildfire season so far and spoke about the tragedy in Coeur d'Alene. KIMA's John.
Agency suffers a painful loss like this, it's felt by firefighters around the country. And I know this was felt by our firefighters here locally.
The sacrifice of the firefighters in Coeur d'Alene was on the front of Public Lands Commissioner Dave Upthegrove's mind on Wednesday.
Yes, I think we all saw the tragedy on Sunday in Idaho, the loss of lives of 2 wildland firefighters, another critically injured. It's just one more reminder that our wildland wildfires put their lives at risk on behalf of the people of our state.
Upthegrove has been on the job for less than a year, and he is supporting the wildland firefighters in any way that he can.
Yeah, we're just getting into fire season, and we have fire professionals who've spent a career managing the response to wildfires. My job as commissioner is to get them the resources they need and support them.
We have folks deployed all over the state, all over the region, and to include our friends up in Canada, trying to bring these fires under control as we face a very difficult, tough time with the drought conditions that are presenting themselves this year.
So far, over 600 blazes have ignited in Dave Upthegrove's first wildfire season as the Commissioner of Public Lands. He is urging people to stay safe this July 4th weekend so that number doesn't go up too much.
4th of July weekend is a fun time. Let's not make it a dangerous one. The bottom line is this: don't be an idiot. Don't set the state on fire with your fireworks.
John Franklin, Action News.
KIMA's John Franklin, thank you. And Upthegrove will be back soon to tour the area of last year's Rimrock Retreat fire. Switching gears, with the summer in full swing, you may want to pick up a sweet cold treat, and a family-owned ice cream and coffee truck is giving Tri-Cityans more options, now expanding to a shop in Kennewick. You may have heard about Angel Brook Ice Cream Truck, located in the summer's hub of Kennewick. Now they've added a shop across from Pasco, serving coffee along with handcrafted ice cream using locally sourced ingredients. Owners say their product is unique, adding the endeavor is a family effort. The business started by a farmer and his daughter.
Grand opening, my mom stopped by and helped clean tables. My sister stopped by and helped me in the back. And when I slow down and look at that, that's something that not a lot of people get to do, is work that closely with their family and do something so fun like this. So it's just really special.
Now, they had their grand opening on Saturday with over 2,000 people showing up. There is a drive-through for anyone on the go. They're open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. And finally, Yakima Valley was voted Best Wine Region in 2024. And once again, USA Today has nominated Yakima for this year's 10 Best Reader's Choice Awards. Voting for the award is now open to the public, allowing fans of Yakima Valley wine country to show their support. Voting can be done daily on the Visit Yakima website until Monday, July 21st at noon. Leaders from Yakima Valley Tourism encourage all wine lovers, community members, and friends to cast their votes daily and share the link to help secure the prestigious title. You'll find the links and all of the voting details up on our website. And that does it for us. Thank you for watching this episode of Keeper Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites, Keeper and KIMETV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a thrilling Thursday, everybody.